Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited to be back. Another podcast for Speak Loud Group. And I'm excited to share something with you today. We teased it a bit on social media. We have talked about it in the first podcast we did of this year, just kind of talking about what we were working on and what we were building out for our clients, for other entrepreneurs, for business owners. And we're pretty excited about this one. So some of you have asked, I've gotten messages. I know some of you are waiting to hear details on this particular program. So we're going to put some of those details out now about one of the programs that we are launching this year. We have also opened up a wait list. So there is a wait list that is going to be available that you can go and check out and join that wait list because, and I'm not saying this to build some kind of like fake urgency or anything like that. This is very genuine. We are going to cap the enrollment of this new program. And the main reason we're going to cap this enrollment is just because we want to ensure that we build out the systems as it grows and scales. We have a feeling that this program will be very important for many businesses. We also feel like there will be a large interest in it as we begin to expand it. So in the beginning, we are completely depending and relying on kind of our organic reach, those folks that are already connected to us, that are like, yes, this is exactly what we need and what we want to implement. So that being said, that is what we are going to talk about today. We are going to talk about 5 Mile Famous. And I'm really excited about 5 Mile Famous because I feel as though it bridges a gap. Again, I want you to understand context here to understand why it is that we built it. And when looking at our business, is we wanted to ensure that we have something that fits into a bucket for any business. We understand that not every single business out there or business owner out there, entrepreneur, is an ideal client for us. We understand that some of them are just simply not. They're just not going to be they're just not going to be a fit for us. We get that. So we wanted to have something available for those that feel like that they are a fit for us and along that journey, because we also understand that every business has a different journey that they're going on. And they have a different place. Like they're just getting started. They have a little bit of revenue. They have no revenue. They have a ton of revenue. They don't know where to allocate it or what to do with it. We wanted to ensure that we have something that is available to them. So that being said, as we launched, as most of you know, and you can see in the pre-roll on the podcast, and some of you can go back and watch if that is something that interests you. But we have Speak Loud Academy. And when we launched Speak Loud Academy, we really wanted it to be somewhere for like your just getting started was the ideal kind of target for that, is just getting started and needing to know how to do some of the things that we do in our business so they can implement it in their business. And we know they're not going to have all of the knowledge that we have. I've ran ad campaigns for almost 20 years. I remember the beginning of Facebook ads. I remember the beginning of YouTube ads and Google. I remember these things and when they were rolled out and how exciting they were and how they've changed over the years a lot, how the algorithm has changed, how targeting has changed, things that have been taken away, new options that have been added, how creative has changed the game, how keywords and captions and now algorithm driven copy. I know all of these things. But it's something that we can't teach all of those things because it would just take years and years and time to get everyone kind of up to speed on that. But what we sat back and realized is like we could take some of these things, from how do you craft a good offer to how do you launch your first ad campaign? How do you know if your ad campaign is successful or not? Like, what are the metrics that I should be watching and tracking? When it comes to Canva, it's a fairly simple tool, but what are still best practices in there? How do I even get started with it? We notice that a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, they get stopped before they even get going. is because it feels overwhelming. They've got a million other things that they're supposed to be or should be focused on, and they get caught. Like if they have to spend any more than a couple of minutes and they're trying to figure out where a button is, then they're going to check out. So we wanted to create a way where people could go learn from us, get a little bit of kind of like a group consulting vibe where they could ask us questions and we could answer those questions, do some live calls, but also have a training pillar to it as well. And that's exactly what we built with Speak Loud Academy. And it really does serve not only your beginners, but even some of your established businesses that know they need to be doing these things in their business, from social media, creating video, running some paid ads, figuring out SEO, and are they maximizing that opportunity using AI in their business. So it really does work for a wide variety, but we wanted a bridge program that was kind of between Speak Loud Academy or in place of Speak Loud Academy, but before really becoming a full-blown client, like an agency client, like our normal everyday clients. And we felt like there was a budget gap in between those two things too. Some of the people that would be in the Speak Loud Academy audience, but are not really interested in doing it themselves and would rather a professional help them or do it, but don't necessarily have the budget to do that. So we wanted to create something that was in between those two things. And that is exactly what we feel that we have built with 5 Mile Famous. And really the principle behind it is you don't need 1 million followers. You really don't have to do that. What you do want to be is like the undisputed champion in your immediate 5 Mile ecosystem. Is that if we can help you become 5 Mile Famous, it could change everything for you. And we don't mean like 5 Mile Famous in the sense of like, I attend this and I attend that and people know my name and, you know, I'm saturated in that market. But like, you have to really think about, does everyone know your name? Does, like, if you're a service-based business, does every homeowner know that you exist? Does every single neighborhood know that you exist, that you service them, whether it's HVAC, plumbing, repair, restoration, like any of those things? And I use service business because they really appeal to anyone in that 5 Mile ecosystem. So you do not need 1 million followers. You do not need $1 million in ad spend. You can accomplish what you're wanting to accomplish by becoming 5 Mile Famous. And that's really why we came up with and how we came up with the name to name this. So what we're looking for is we want to help you generate that like local celebrity effect. And I don't necessarily even mean you or your face or your spokesperson, but your brand. We want you to be able to have authority in your local community. We want you to be able to have brand recognition in your local community. So we know that by building, because we've seen this across all of our clients, we know that by building that authority, you will have a 5 to 10x chance at that business versus like they might have seen you one time or they might have seen a truck drive by and they're like, oh, we've been looking for a quote for that, or we've been thinking about doing that. And so, yeah, you're in the mix. But if you're like the guy, if you're the company or you're the brand that they've continually seen present in the community and continue to see things from you, some of you can go back to like the movie Numbers and things like that, where they started showing certain numbers and colors over and over and over again to people subliminally. And then those are the numbers and the colors that they remember. Advertising and marketing has been a level of that for the longest time, of just brand recognition from seeing an advertisement or from seeing a billboard or seeing a truck. It's repetitive. And by being repetitive, you increase your chances 5-fold, 10-fold of someone choosing to go with your company over someone else that they maybe have only seen once. We really wanted to create, like, it's for us, we went through the drawing board and we're like, it's proximity, it's personalization, and it's presence. Those are really the 3 kind of pillars that we started working off of, was proximity, personalization, and presence. Is that, you know, obviously proximity matters. If you serve an area that has a 5 mile radius around it, well, then you're close in proximity to that individual that wants to use or buy your thing. And that builds a level of trust because they're local, they're here, they're not in some other even city a few miles down the road, but they're like local and present in my community. Personalization is like you're putting something in front of them that is for them. We're big on, you know, trying to call out specific avatars or neighborhoods or things like that, you know, for our clients. And so this relates directly kind of back to that. And then presence is just general. You're active. They're seeing you when they go onto their social media accounts or online. Like they're seeing that your brand, your business is present. We wanted to build something that was for a very specific avatar in terms of like who our client is. And I kind of walked through that a bit. It's like they are a really good candidate for Speak Loud Academy, but they are looking for a little bit more. Like they want some of that help. They don't mind learning from us, but in terms of execution, they would rather someone else do it for them because it's going to be done at a higher level or be done more professionally. However, their budget may constrain them in terms of their marketing advertising budget. And it may not just be that they just don't have the money. They may have allocated some of their marketing advertising to something else. They're already committed. They have givebacks that they do. They support local nonprofits and charity, like just things like that, that we don't want to take from that because we're big supporters of our local organizations as well. So we wanted something that, and this is where everyone needs to hear me, is who this is for. This is entry level agency services. This is not full-blown clientele where you have access to our entire suite of services and getting us to help you with video creative and helping run this ad and that ad and this ad and also step in on some SEO and things like that. This is a single strategy that is for an entry-level agency client is what we built this out for. And I'm going to give you a little bit of context as to what that is going to look like. The easiest way for me to connect those dots is I need you to picture a digital billboard. And I use that in one of our little teasers that we put out. Maybe some of you caught on, maybe some of you didn't. Billboards by themselves are astronomically expensive for any business, but they're extremely expensive. One of the ways that the billboard companies were able to try to cut down on some of that cost, because you would have to pay for expensive artwork to be drafted on giant canvases to then have to be installed. You would have to sign anywhere from a 6 month to 12 months, sometimes even longer term, because of the amount of work that went into drafting that canvas and installing it. So you're going to be paying $1,500, $3,000, $5,000 a month on a 6, 12, or 24 month contract. Extremely expensive for any business of any size. So they came up with this concept as technology moved along to create these digital billboards. And all of you have seen them driving down a freeway somewhere where it's, there's a business that's being advertised, probably a car wreck attorney, let's just be honest. And then it would flip to maybe a jewelry store. And then it would flip to maybe a roofing company. It would just kind of cycle between these things. And they'd have a certain number of businesses that were contributing to that billboard. They were able to bring the overall cost down for a couple of different reasons. Obviously, it's digital now. Graphic design is still involved, so that's a cost, but it's digital. I can create this design, I can create that design, I can create that design. There's no print. There's nothing that needs to be done. Nothing needs to be printed. There's no install. They installed the billboard one time, and they do not need the recurring cost of recreating that canvas that they got to go now pay people to go install. You decide to drop out or you end your term, they just go delete and they put the new one in there. And they sell, I don't even know how many they sell. I've never, most of the time you're sitting in traffic, you might see it change a few times, then you've kind of moved on. But, I don't know if it's 5 or if it's 50. I really don't know. I don't know if they cycle at different times of day. I'm not in the billboard business. But we saw that. And we started going to the drawing board of how could we create something like that that was more impactful, would reach more of the right people, and be affordable for business owners that are out there that need this type of service. And so we started kind of doing some research and looking at some different things. And that's really what we came across was like, number one, we started thinking of all the things that were right with a digital billboard and then all the things that were wrong with a digital billboard. And we've already covered some of the things that were wrong. Is like they're extremely expensive. When traffic is moving at a normal pace, they might not even see yours. If they do see it, they don't catch everything on it. It's a huge display. Usually the graphics are way too overwhelming anyways. I don't love them. But also, it's targeting everybody that drives past that billboard. You receive no analytics outside of maybe if someone called you off of it and you had a tracking number on it instead of your main phone number. That would be one way to know you got a call from a billboard. but you receive no other analytics. The analytics that they're going to provide you when they're trying to sell you is 250,000 cars drive past it in the morning and 250,000 cars drive past it in the evening, and that's 5 days a week, and then on the weekends is that those are the numbers that you're going to get in terms of a digital billboard. Traffic counts, and those are typically slighted. It's a guesstimate at best, especially the data they have. You talk to TxDOT or someone else, an actual source, they could probably give you a better idea, but they're just guesstimating or pulling the most recent statistic they saw. But it's targeting everybody. Someone traveling down that road might not even live in the state. They might not even live in that area. You have no idea who you're targeting with that billboard. And so we started going to the drawing board, like how do, with what we do and what we know how to do, how could we create a product that kind of reverse engineers that still follows the same concept of like it's a digital billboard, multiple people could help offset the cost of that, but it is affordable and it's highly targeted. So that is what we came up with, and that is essentially what this program is. 5 Mile Famous will be a digital billboard, but not in the sense of it's set up on the side of a highway or a bridge or anything along those lines. This will be on social media, primarily Meta. So we're talking about Facebook and Instagram, which is where the vast majority of your audience lives and interacts every single day. I don't have to tell you about the statistics of the hours and amount of time that are spent on social media. I think we all know that because we're guilty of it as well. So the way this will work is we will have Speak Loud Group will have dedicated community pages that we will build. They will be optimized to reach the masses that they should reach. And then you, as a business owner in that community, have the ability to use our services. So we will be running paid ads from those community pages to the community. So to give you context, and this is not exactly the, maybe the name, you can go search, maybe it's there, maybe it's not. But for example, we will start Garland's best deals, Garland, Texas top deals, Garland, Texas top businesses, Garland, Texas best businesses, things along those lines that we will start in these communities. So you're getting a couple of different things. You're getting some third-party elevation, meaning that it's not your company running the page saying that I'm the best X, Y, or Z. It's another page that is giving you some local credibility. But then you are going to have an ad that is running, that is completely customized to you. So with this program, you will have one design from our team. So you'll be able to supply us with logos if you have certain fonts or things like that. We are going to make recommendations based on this design because we have seen some of your designs and we think these are going to work better. But we are going to design a nice looking ad for you. We will give you some parameters. You are open to say anything you want to say with this ad or with the copy that will be associated with this ad as it runs to the community. We will have some tiered recommendations because we know what ads and campaigns perform the best. So we are going to be making suggestions. You will have a template to work off of this is the best practices for running an ad campaign. So you will be using what we call shared ad space. So the shared ad space is just like a digital billboard. And what that means is included in what you will be paying us is part of your ad spend. So there is not two amounts that you're going to be paying us. Most of our normal clients, to give you perspective, they are paying us a retainer that they pay us every single month for the allotted services that we have provided them. It might be one campaign, it might be 4, it might be video works included, it might be SEO. But then beyond that, there is an ad spend budget. And an ad spend budget is what we have allotted that we can spend on these platforms to promote those ads. In this particular case, being it is an entry-level agency services package, it is included. So what we are going to bill you, part of that is your ad spend. So you do not have two amounts that you'll be paying us. It is a cut and dry, easy to understand pricing structure. So you, and I'm going to give you the perfect example, is there are, let's say, 4 companies that say, yes, we want to do this. We go to our community page. All 4 of the businesses are inside of that community, which is why we are going to open them up realistically one at a time, not all together. Is we will take those 4 companies, we will build out the ad for each one of them. There will be a single campaign that is running. And I'm not trying to get you lost in the weeds, but I do want you to understand how it's going to work. There will be a single campaign. Campaign is us essentially saying what the objective is. The objective of these ads will be brand recognition and reach. We are not optimizing it for lead generation. We are not optimizing it for phone calls. We are not optimizing it for them to follow your page. We are optimizing it to reach as many people as possible in the target area. So, and why is that? You'd be like, well, I want leads. The byproduct of people seeing your campaign is leads. Your phone number will be on there. An to your page will be on there. So they will be able to contact you if it is something that they are interested in. But the difference, and again, goes back to what we know versus what maybe you know, is we will be able to reach a whole lot more people by going the objective of brand recognition and reach than we will with lead gen. When you immediately tell a platform that I want to generate either messages or a lead form fill, immediately your cost per conversion goes up. If you say, I just want people to know that I exist and that I service them and this is what I do, that cost per lead or cost per acquisition or cost per click comes down dramatically. And that is what we are focused on here, is we need people to know that you exist. Because if people know that you exist, they have an opportunity to engage your business. If they need a quote, they're looking for this, they're looking for that, they now know that you exist and you serve in their local community. So that is the rundown. So that's how exactly it would work. It'd be a single campaign. We move on to what is called the ad set level of these campaigns, and that is essentially the targeting. The targeting for all of these will be essentially the same. We will be targeting people that are inside of your demographic. So if you give us parameters that say, our target demographic is, 25 through 35 males and females, and that's the only people we really need to go after because that's who our demo is. That is how yours will be structured. Your neighbor that is also going to be in that campaign, their targeting might be, we only need 40 plus. We go after, say, a certain type of insurance or health insurance or whatever it may be. We only need like 40 plus. That is how theirs is built out. It's still in the same campaign, but we have the ability to adjust that kind of targeting level to more match your business. The next step of that is kind of your creative level. That is where we would be inserting this graphic that we have created for you. We would be typing out the copy, which is the text above that ad that you normally would see, and would be telling people about your business and how they can contact you. So again, there will be best practices that we'll be telling you specifically about the creative and specifically about the copy. Once you kind of join our ecosystem, we're happy to share more of that. If you've watched any of my videos on building ads, some of it's there. You're going to know kind of what we're going to be talking about and suggesting for you, but we want to ensure that these perform very well for you. The entire objective of this is that you maybe don't have the budget or you're skeptical in terms of running ads online, so you're not wanting to dedicate a whole lot of budget to it, but you're like, we do need to be out there. If you have ever considered advertising in a school program, and again, not knocking it, all things that we've done, we appreciate you supporting our local schools and their booster clubs, continue to do that. But if you have advertised in a magazine, if you've done postcards, if you've done like the big maps where you get the little squares on, if you've done any of those things, you've tried some form of this brand recognition and kind of a reach campaign, but you were doing it to such a limited audience that you probably never saw any results from it. And that is unfortunate. This, we're talking about reaching everyone that is online and on social media in your targeted area. What is the difference between that? You have a magazine that comes in the mail. And again, I'm not knocking magazines. We have some great partners that generate magazines. But from our end, you have a distribution list of, say, 20,000 people that receive that magazine. You have no other metrics beyond that to know if people are actually opening that magazine, if they actually looked at your ad, or if it goes right in the trash. Statistically, I give you statistics, I'm not saying locally, don't get mad at me, but statistically, 80 to 90% of people are throwing them in the trash. They might look at the front cover, they might look at the back cover on the way into the trash. They might open it if they know a friend had an article in there, or maybe their house was photoed or something. Yes, maybe. But a significant percentage of people are throwing them directly in the trash. But your metrics that you're basing your buying decision on, maybe you paid $800 to be in the magazine, or 12 or 15, or I've heard of a whole lot more than that, depending on the area and the magazine. You spent a ton of money and you invested and you didn't get a single phone call. And maybe you bought in for 6 months or a year or multiple editions of this magazine or mailer. It gets to be very expensive and it gets to be frustrating. With the program we're rolling out, you will have actual metrics. You will be able to see how many people was this ad shown to? How many interactions did I get? How many people did click on something? What became of it? And then on the back side of that is your job and your role is, did I see an increase in my social media following? Awesome. Am I putting out content that makes it good for them to be following me, or have I not posted in 3 to 6 weeks? So there's some work for you to do on that end too, but the entire objective is that people know that you exist. People know that you service that community and that you offer the service that you offer. Bottom line is you are doing brand recognition and reaching people. You are letting people know that you exist. And that is step one. People open businesses and they go, well, now that I'm open, the phone's just going to ring. People are just going to walk in. I think storefront, you have a little bit of an advantage, especially if you're in a captive kind of shopping area. You're going to get some of that trickle, but it's not predictable and it's not forecastable and it's usually not scalable. Is that you need other levers and other things going in motion to attract people to your store, even as a storefront. Service businesses, even more. There are, in North Texas, roofing is a dime a dozen, right? Like you don't need, and I know this space so well, you do not need a license to be a roofer in Texas. Most of them probably don't even carry insurance. They should, but they probably don't. But anybody could go start a roofing company tomorrow and start knocking on doors and like, hey, we're a local roofing company and we're offering all these shady things to eat your deductible and all this other stuff. Like, it's easy. You don't need a whole lot. So like service businesses, now some of the other ones, like you take HVAC or you take plumbing or restoration or some of those things, there are some extra things that are required. There's some more expensive equipment. You probably need some type of transportation. There probably are licenses involved. Now, not that everyone gets them, but they should, and you should be checking those things as a homeowner. But they're not as many dime a dozen, but like you look at your community and how many plumbing companies do you know of or have you seen around? How many HVAC companies have you seen or know around? Like there's a decent number of them, even in smaller communities. So what we want to do is we want to build brand recognition for you and your company, that you are that community's company. You are there, you're from there, you serve there, and you're available to meet their needs or fix their problems or whatever it may be. And if it's service related, if it's retail, if it's pizza, it doesn't really matter that we've talked about this in other podcasts. Every business solves a problem. Sometimes the problem is my plumbing is backed up. Sometimes the problem is I want pizza and I'm hungry. Those are still both problems that you or your business may solve. This is what 5 Mile Famous is going to do, is we are going to make your business 5 Mile Famous. We are going to make you the rock star in that community. So let's get down to nitty gritty, because maybe you've made it this far and you're like, yeah, but he's about to save, $5,000 and something crazy. No, we are not. Again, I told you that this is entry-level service. If you were calling me about agency services and you're like, we need Facebook ads, we need Google ads, we want video shop, we want SEO, yeah, that number can get pretty high pretty quick. This is not that. This is a single campaign that you are sharing a rotation. So that is how that process would work. You are under one campaign. Every single person is contributing a little bit of ad spend towards it. Your money is going towards your ad. You are not sharing your money with other people on their ad. Everyone is contributing the same, but what it does is it pushes that campaign down the road. So as the first person is scrolling Facebook in that community, they're seeing this ad. Next time they're on Facebook, they're seeing another person's ad. Next time they're on Facebook, they're seeing the other person's ad. We're going in this rotation to where you are getting in front of the people that you want to get in front of, but the other companies that are partnered and paired with you are helping share the workload with us. For us to charge you to do a standalone campaign and run it from your page and send you leads and do all that, it is not this price. It is a lot more work. It is more maintenance. It is more upkeep. It is more rotation of creative. There's a lot more that goes into it. But when we're able to build this out, that you're able to share some of that with your other local community businesses, this is an ideal scenario for someone that is wanting to crack into the digital advertising space for their company. So nitty gritty, what is it going to cost? That's what everybody wants to know. If I had a drum roll, that would be awesome. Should have added that before we started recording, but I don't have a drum roll. So I'm just going to tell you in the next episode. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell you right now. So what we are charging for this is $299. There's no upcharges. There's no additional fees. There's nothing beyond that. It's $299. $99 of that $299 is going towards your ad spend. So you are spending $299 a month. $99 of that is not mine. It is being spent in ad spend. So we are essentially charging you $200 and you're paying the other $99 as ad spend. And you may go, wait a minute, why is this so cheap? I know I know. Again, we built this program because it's based on a shared mentality. Is if we have enough of you that come together, you're able to share that work a little bit. Because it honestly wouldn't be worth it. If only one person wanted to do this, it would not be worth it for us to even offer this, because it's too much work for $200, honestly. But when we have the shared aspect to it, it's able to help us offset some of that work that's going to need to be done, and it does make it worth it for us to do that. So we're going to be capping this per community. We have not made the determination on how many we're going to cap that at. Really, we're going to base it on our research and our metrics. It could be as few as 5. It could be as many as, say, 10. What we're going to be measuring is how effective in terms of ad spend and rotation is it going to be fair to you to have 10 or 15 in there. We think in certain size communities 10 or 15 would be completely fine, but if you're dealing with smaller communities, we're probably going to cap it like maybe at 10, 5, 10, somewhere in there. It's not going to affect you one way or the other, I will tell you that. Like, because we have your ad spend behind it, your ad will deliver through that month. So even if we had more, you're still going to get delivery. Your ad is still going to be shown to the people it wants to show to. Just the rotation could be more spread out, and we want the rotation to be fairly frequent. So we're going to kind of measure that, and those of you that opt into the program, we can have that discussion further if that is a concern of yours, of how many people. We will cap it where it needs to be capped. You can have to trust us with that. Again, for $200, you just have to trust us. We are offering, if you want, if you'd like to pay for the entire year, we're offering a 20% discount on that. So realistically, that brings you to, it's like I think it's like $2,800 is $2,870. I think was actually the number. If you wanted to pay in full and you're like, I want to lock this thing in, I don't want anybody taking my spot, I want to pay for the year because this sounds like a great program. If you pay in full, we're doing a 20% discount. So that's just for those of you that would like to. If you are wanting to not do that, if you're like, nope, I just want to pay for the month, what we are going to have in the agreement is we are asking for 6 months. Not money, we're asking for a commitment from you for 6 months. Reason being is because you are going to take a spot in that group. And if we are capping it, we have to protect our business as well, that you pay us 1 month and then you just bail. And then we have other people that were going back to the waiting list and like, hey, do you guys want this spot? It's just a lot of work for us. Whereas if we know that it's in 6-month increments, I mean, realistically, for the amount of money that you're spending, you're committing $1,800 over 6 months. It's not an extreme amount of money to be able to promote your business to your entire community in the most smart and effective way that you possibly could. And I'm not saying that just because it's my program and it's our company and it's what we do every day. I'm just telling you the facts. If you looked at every way that you could market and advertise and spend money to do those things in your local community, and looking at the data you receive and the trackability and who's there and how many people will be able to see it, this is the smartest way you can spend your money. And I'm not, again, we're doing these things too. I would never bring something to you that it's just this spitball harebrained idea. This is what we do. It's what we do every single day. I will tell you this on the other end. Those of you that are clients that are like, well, maybe I should just do that instead of, this is not a full agency service. Like the things that you normally get from me as a client, like it's not the same with this program. This is an entry-level program. So if you're used to running lead generating campaigns and you're used to click to calls and you're used to SEO services and video and stuff like that, this is not that. This is our entry-level service. And let me tell you, this is our secret on the back end. You want to know what the secrets are, the hidden things? This is what they are. We know this works. We know that you're going to do this and you're going to come in and go, yeah, I could $299, that's feasible, especially considering that $99 of it is going directly to ad spend. It's not even DJ and SpeakLoud's money that's going towards my business. That all of it's a write-off, number one. It's cost, it's expense, right? But here's what we know will happen. You dip your toe in this water of branding and reaching new people and exposing new people to your business and gaining brand recognition in your community, your sales are going to go up. And you're going to go, how do I do more of this? And you're going to become a full-blown agency client. Because every single service that we offer, it comes down to a number. And what I mean by a number is that how much do I spend to get this? And is that directly connected to like my return on investment? Is it directly connected to like, here's what it cost me, here's what I make? So here's my question to you. And this is the way I'd like for you to look at it. If you're considering this and you're thinking about it, $299. If you spend $299 in a month, and because of that effort, you gain one customer. just one. If you gain just one customer, what is the LTV of that customer to your business? If you don't know what LTV is, it's lifetime value. So for those of you that maybe have a lower cost service, let's say it's $60, okay, $60. How many times, $60 sounds like probably a recurring service, maybe something along those lines. How many months does the average customer, or years, stay with you? Well, 10 months. Okay, so that LTV of that customer is $600. You spent $299 to get them. So you doubled your money. Is that worth it to you? Maybe, maybe not. I think it's worth it, but that's up to you to decide. You have to understand your numbers and know them. If your number is higher, let's even take retail. Let's take retail and say that the average person that comes in your store spends $40. Okay, probably on the low end if you're a boutique or something like that, but let's just say it's $40. How often do they come in your store and spend that $40? Oh, a couple times a month, okay? $80 a month. How long do they shop with you? Our average customer's been with us 2 years. I think the math is starting to make sense to you a little bit. Is that if you're spending $299 to gain a customer that's going to spend $40 every 2 weeks, $80 a month, in 10 months you've made $800 off them. You spent $299 to get them. But then guess what? Month 2, you got another new one at $40 average per biweekly. So this is where I'm going with this. And so some of you that have higher tickets than that, I probably shouldn't even have to go through the math because it should just make sense. If you got, some of you with larger tickets, if you got one client in 6 months, this thing would pay 8-10 times what you paid for it. So, and that, this pitch that you're hearing, I don't even like calling it that. This is the same numbers I run through with agency clients, full-blown agency clients. You're spending $5,000, you're spending $8,000, you're spending $3,000. What does that mean in terms of getting a customer? If you spent $3,000 with me every single month for 3 months, you spent $9,000, you landed one customer and it was a custom pool build, and you're gonna make $30,000 off that pool build. You spent 9, you got 30. In my head, that math's pretty well. It's the same numbers we run through because I want it. I want clients that this makes sense to. I don't want clients that are questioning it and going, I don't know. Like, I want you to be excited about this program. I want you to be excited about the possibilities of like dipping your company's toes into digital marketing. And again, I'm going to be very transparent with you. This creates more work for us. But the good news about that is it allows us the opportunity to bring additional people into our team and to build this program out. And we know without a shadow of a doubt that some of you are going to become full-blown agency clients. As your business grows, as you begin to get additional exposure and new customers are finding out about you and you're starting to see that climb in sales, the only thing that maybe you changed or implemented was this. And you go, okay, that DJ guy sounds smart sometimes, and this one he was right about. And so we want to move from that entry-level program to like, we want to be in the full fold. We want you to full-blown run us a Facebook meta ad, Google ad. We want you to attack SEO. Like, we have the budget for it now. That's what's going to wind up happening. And that's what we're hopeful for. We just got to have you take this journey with us. So this was a 38-minute explanation on what 5 Mile Famous is and will be. And so here's what you do next. Here's my call to action. It's supposed to have a call to action, right? That's what we teach. So my call to action is that you're going to go to speakloudmedia.com/5, the numeral 5, not spelled out, 5 mile. So speakloudmedia.com/5 and mile. And that will take you to the wait list. So we have not opened it yet. We are going to be opening it very, very soon. Our projected start date, if we have enough interest, which I already have probably 5 of you that have reached out and said, put my name at the top of the list. We're shooting for February 1st or the first week of February is when we would go. Now, before then, we may open the wait list and go, hey, here's the first 5 that we're rolling into it. Let's get everything started so that way we could launch the first week of February, because there are some steps. We need some things from you to be able to build some creative. We need, you need to pay us. We love that. And you just have to decide, do you want to do $299 or do you want to save a little bit of money because you want to just like, let's do this thing for 2026 and we want to save some money. You can blame anybody for that. We just decided to offer it because we know that some of you have asked, hey, if I just pay for the year, is there a discount? Like, yeah, we can do that, especially for a program like this. So that's what you will do. That is next step. speakloudmedia.com/5 numeral, not spelled out, mile. And there's a short form there. It's just name, number, email, and company name. And then you will be added to that list. And you will be contacted probably both ways. We'll probably shoot you a text and also drop you an email, just let you know when everything is moving forward. But we're literally talking about kind of 2 weeks from now. So watch this video. If you are curious of what 5 Mile Famous is and what it will be and what it will be about and the details, now you know. It's $2.99 a month. 6-month commitment is what we're asking for. $99 of that is going directly back into your business. We are making you invest money in your business. Shocker, right? It's not going in my pocket, not all of it. But you also can save the 20% if you decide to just pay for the year in full. And you'll just let us know that when you decide to sign up. We will give you both the options and you just decide. But it is an ad. You will have your very own meta ad running on Facebook and Instagram, designed by us, built by us, managed by us, for a fraction of the cost, because you are doing digital billboard space with other awesome businesses in your community. So I hope that this helped explain that a little bit. I hope genuinely that you are as excited as we are, because we are very excited for this program. We feel like it's going to open the doors for many of our friends and connections that have said they would love to work with us, but it just didn't make sense for the size of their business and where they were currently. So we hope this opens that door and gains you the brand recognition it will take to take your business to the next level. We'll see you guys in the next one.